I will be talking about policy impact from AI regulation to academic inclusion. I'm from University of Hamburg, and this work would not be possible without many people, especially amazing queer and trans activists out there. So this is like all, it's not my work, it's like work for like so many years of making that's like happening right now. So yeah, I'm Pranav. I'm a researcher at University of Hamburg. I develop policies for NLP conferences. I also co-founded Queer in NLP. And my work deals with AI ethics and bias investigation. So you will hear a small part of my work that I do. I do like lots of mixture of work. I just started my PhD. So you know, the start of PhD, winding up a lot of stuff. So it's just a small part of like what I do here. Yeah, in this talk, I will mainly discuss about policy and advocacy work that I've done over the past few years. So in this talk, you will learn about surveillance loopholes in EU AI Act. I will give you a brief overview, maybe give you some case studies, and also talk about the recommendations that I put forward with the German government. Then I will talk more about name change policy and advocacy work that we have done over the past few years. What I have done regarding that, I made a few toolkits, few technical stuff, and do some provide some recommendations to the publishing communities. Yeah, so let's discuss some EU AI Act loopholes. Can you guess where this is? Yeah, so this is University of Hamburg campus. So back in 2019, University of Hamburg campus and ETH Zurich, what they did is they installed surveillance cameras over the campus, and they wanted to capture the videos of students going to their classes. So this was around 2019 when computer vision was really popular. So these two labs, they did surveillance cameras over the students who were going to the classes. They did not know that they were captured within that camera. That video was taken, and that is now made of famous data set is called Wild Track. That data set is now being used for surveillance for like military purposes and for like commercial purposes. So you might be just going for the classes. You don't know who is taking your video when you're going to the classes, and suddenly your just like morning compute has become a tool for like AI to train on your stuff. So I'm from Hong Kong actually. So in Hong Kong, we love to buy fish and vegetables in an open market. So this was around 2018. So what University of Hong Kong did is they put surveillance cameras in the wild. So these are the pictures that are captured in the fish market. And these people don't even know that their videos or their photos have been taken. This is one of the most famous datasets that has been used to train surveillance. So you can see here, you have like people trained with like different poses, some at the back, some at the side. So we try to train AI to understand how can human move within different poses and how can they be used for surveillance. We call this task as person re-identification. So let's say there are different poses to a person, how they are trying to move, let's say from one place to another, and we try to like map them together to single person. So this is a popular computer vision task known as person re-identification. This is a really popular task in computer vision right now, in AI right now. This is how your dataset looks like. So you have a person here, and you're trying to match where is that person within a video. We have also leaderboards, we have datasets, and so on. So I hope you know that where I'm going with this. Like, this is like such a I'm not sure, like such a like weird way to like, why are we doing this at all? Why this is so popular? why are we like spending so much money and so much like effort on this kind of stuff? So now I talk about how surveillance is trained. So recently, Germany has passed EU AI Act. So the German government is telling you, okay, you are safe from surveillance. We are passing you these acts and so on. But they introduce some loopholes there. Like let's make some exceptions. Let's say for security purposes. Let's say for academic purposes, for research purposes. Let's make those exceptions out there. So they did not release that in the public. We have to like go in their policy documents and find out what is German government trying to do. So right now Germany is the fourth leading country in terms of surveillance AI patents and how much research has been done in surveillance right now. So all of this research that has been done in Germany is now being used for military purposes and now is being used for commercial surveillance. So you can see here, these are the top universities that have been doing work on surveillance. What we try to do here is we went through their patents, we went through their papers, and we tried to see what surveillance technologies are they using, and if that is like linked to their military government documents. And we found out that US, of course, is like leading. They have like doing lots of surveillance AI stuff. China is out there, United Kingdom, and Germany, and so on. And yeah, so a bit of backstory about me. So in Hong Kong, I applied for a company to work on AI stuff. And little did I know that I was actually going to work in surveillance. And they pushed me to like do more and more surveillance stuff. And as soon as I started to work with surveillance, I realized that this surveillance datasets, the algorithms, they're really bad. They cannot predict that properly. I talk to you about that remapping of the stuff, re-identification. That really, it doesn't really work well in the wild. So if it does not work really well, why are they still using it? That, I mean, you can be a false positive if you are just like going out there. You can be just like misidentified, or they can put false allegations on you. So I want to give a case study of Bavaria. So what they did is they made a software called Pre-Cops, Pre-Crime Observation System. So they got the database of the crimes that are happening in the Bavaria, and they want to predict which crime is going to happen next. As you can see here, these things don't work at all. They try to have this for around 7 years, and they try to it did not work. They were spending so much money, and at the end of that, they removed that. So we found out that all the repeat offenses that they found out were not true, and they were clearly stereotyping out there for like persons of color. They are being targeted, and for no reason. So yeah, so this was Bavaria trying to use. There were like lots of other German case studies, but this was the one that we did for our research work. So what is happening right now in Germany? So in the last coalition government, they tried to, the SPD and CDU, they tried to like have an agreement out there. Okay, let's try to ban the biometric recognition in like public spaces, and let's call for more transparency. Let's protect like a fundamental right. These are the stuff that you read in the news. What happens behind the scenes is this: SPD tried to like push for some more exemptions of law enforcement, to use surveillance for migration, for border control, for law enforcement. They had some major loopholes to like block these kind of like surveillance rules. And they, of course, they had some like transparency framework and everything, but then all of a sudden they were like, no, we are not going to be transparent about the algorithm stuff. This can be dangerous to everyone. So they removed all the transparency requirements for AI. So this was like some security packet that they tried to introduce, which was like, okay, we are going to use this kind of like algorithms to improve the security of Germany. And yeah, recently Nancy Fraser, their cabinet tried to like push for more surveillance powers to like, okay, let's do more AI to surveil people and more to do this kind of stuff. And let's try to like, even this is not allowed in EU AI Act, the German government still try to introduce stuff like this, like security packets and so on. So, what EU AI Act says that you cannot do real-time facial recognition, but Germany can do the stored facial recognition. So what can happen here is like whatever that you have recorded right now, this can be stored in some database, and then they can use that database to like train their algorithms for you or try to like find out like what is happening. So real time is not allowed, but the store is more allowed. And just FYI, real-time facial recognition never works. From my 7 years of experience, it never works. We always go for stored facial real-time recognition because these AI systems require lots of power. So we usually don't go for real-time. We usually go for offline kind of system. So yeah, all the so it's kind of like lies that they're telling you like, okay, you cannot do facial recognition, but you can actually do this kind of stuff. And they can always tweak the surveillance requirements as, okay, for like security threats, let's do surveillance. And many private companies and public authorities actually are given surveillance data sets and all these like video data sets. I still need to figure out what companies are allowed. I still cannot like find out in the documents what companies and what authorities are allowed there. And German government can bypass all of these rules by saying that for national security, let's bypass all the surveillance laws. So together with many other organizations, we try to advocate for like better implementation of EU AI Act. What we try to say that is ban whatever that nonsense that happened in Bavaria, that no geographic predictive policing systems. So prohibit such like individual crime prediction and restrict such AI surveillance government. They still have not replied to us at all. It's still like in loophole, and with all the elections coming in, it's just like went nowhere. So let's see, let's hope that something happens in the future. I don't think so with the current government, but let's hope. Then we also try to say to the government that try to have a public algorithm transparency register. Like what algorithms are you going to use for surveillance? Try to explain that even more, try to give us more details. We also are advocating for accountability and education systems. So accountability, like who is accountable if such data is like, let's say, leaked, and who has the right to like consent to such data sets. And with the education, we want to like train everyone to like know more about what is happening with German EU AI Act. More people should know about such EU AI Act policies, what is happening and what are the loopholes. So improve the digital literacy. Yeah. So yeah, this was all about my work for EU AI Act. As yeah, for the past few months, nothing has been happening so far due to the election and stuff. But yeah, let's hope that it goes somewhere. Yeah. So I will talk now about name change policies. I want to start off this part of my talk with this quote. There are only two hard things in computer science. First thing, naming things are so hard, naming a variable and so on. And next thing is like cache invalidation. So this was by Phil Carton. Great, so I hope that everyone is familiar with Google Scholar. So let's see. We have two papers here. One paper is called Lunch Menu. Let's see who are the authors here. The first author is Caesar salad. The second author is P-Pack. The third author is Bolognese noodles. Rice and Bean is the author on this paper called Lunch Menu. We also have one more paper called Lunch Menu. Let's see who are the authors. Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So you can see here the algorithm is trying to crawl any PDFs out there, so it assumes that, okay, a Lunch Menu is an academic paper, and then these are the authors, or the whatever that you have in your Mensa that becomes the authors. So yeah, this is something that happens in Google Scholar often. So I know this is all funny and stuff, but sometimes it harms people. So this was a paper that I published a few years ago. So I was the first author here. And then I saw in the Google Scholar that Google Scholar does not think that my name is valid. So they dropped my name as the first author, and now everyone cites as my second co-author, like this. So all of my hard work that I've done over the years, my name is like erased. My work has been like erased. All the credit goes to my co-author. All the citations go to my co-author. It doesn't go to me. So it happens with I'm giving one example here, but that happens might be to all of you. You might not even know about this, that Google Scholar might be like miscounting your citations or miscalculating your citations, and you might be at the harm. So Google Scholar perpetuates harms and impact and careers for the academics. So the main people who are being impacted here is people who try to change their names. If you try to change your name, so Google Scholar takes some time or takes some difficulties to process that. So what happens is that Google, most of us academics, we try to we have a EndNote, Mendeley, stuff like that. We try to copy paste from that. So it doesn't refresh the new name often. So mainly I will deal with the name changes that happen with trans people often. So just FYI, I will be using the word called dead naming often. So when we try to, when trans people try to transition, their old name is referred to as dead name, and the new name is what they want to go forward with. So for trans people, so I know many of my trans friends, they have huge spreadsheet of what name they want to pick when they want to transition. And this is really hard because you want how other people feel about you, what name that you want to pick for your new life, for your new future, you know? So naming things is hard for trans people. And other people to get to know you is even harder because they know you for so long and suddenly you want to change your name. So it might be possible that they know you by your old name or your dead name that often. And you want to get them to get updated by your new name. So that is even harder. Who wants to change their names? Almost most people, trans people, want to change their names. People want to change their names after a marriage or divorce. They want to, let's say, change their surnames. That is really common. People who are reclaiming their cultural identity, they want to change their names. So my full name is Pranav Agrawal, but my last name Agrawal is rooted in casteism and racism in India. So I really don't want me to be referred as Dr. Agrawal or Mr. Agrawal that often. So I changed my name from Pranav Agrawal to Pranav A. So the word Pranav A here, so the Google Scholar doesn't think that, oh, A is a single letter, so that's not a valid name, so your name is not valid at all. So yeah, so Google Scholar and many other algorithms think that my name is not valid. But in academia, your name is your brand, your name is your face. That's how people know you. They don't know your face, they don't know how you look or how you talk. What they know about you is your name. And changing names in academia is difficult, it's bureaucratic, it's a lot of work to do. And it's so difficult that many publishers or many journals, they don't have a name change policy. So they might have something like for namesake, but they don't really it's like go forward with this. So a name change policy, it should be discrete. It should not show your previous dad name or previous like your old name. It should be fast. As I know, like most of the people, they take like 6 to 8 months to like get their names updated on a paper. It should have less bureaucracy. Back then, many journals wanted to show your passport, show your ID card, show your like advertisement that you have changed your paper. So lots of proof that they go for. So it should not have that much of barriers. Should be like, yeah. So why I'm saying this is important, let's look at this form screenshot from Stack Exchange. So this was in 2013 where was, I think there was like no name change policies back then. So this person transition, and because of the lack of name change policies there, they were outed by their dad names due to their previous publications. So they know about their past, so it's like so awkward for them to work in academia, because now they know that, oh, they're transitioned, so they're like somehow they're like clocked or like out. So this is why such like name changing policy should be discreet. They should not talk about your what was your previous name before. So my research we wanted to explore what is causing such dead naming in citations. Why people cite dead names or old name that much? So we are going to do a small experiment here. So what I did is like I took a few tables, and I wanted to understand the trend. Are they citing the dead names? Are they citing the new names? What is happening? So these are the key events that I want to study here. What happens before they change their names? What happens when they update their names in the proceedings? And what happens when Google Scholar updates their name? More on the technical side, I'm using Semantic Scholar API. So I download the cited papers using Archive API and try to extract a name that has been used. Not going more into the algorithms, you can read my paper on this as well. So this is how it looks like, the trend. So you can see here, the green one shows the name that has been updated here, the green one here. And the red one is the dead name. And the gray one is the initial only citations, because many conferences, many journals, they don't give, you need to provide your full name here, you only need to provide your initials here. So what I want you to observe is green versus the red here. So at this point, I took the average for like many people out there. So at this point, they try to update their name in the proceedings. And they took around like 6 months. This was like back then, but now Google Scholar takes let's say like 3 to 4 months to update the correct name. So it took like Google Scholar around 3 or 6 months to update the correct name. And when Google Scholar corrected the name, you can see here the correct citations usually go up and the dead names usually go down after Google Scholar has updated the names. So the wrong citations went down and the correct citations went up after Google Scholar has updated the names. Even after everything has been done, all the names has been updated, all the homepage have been updated, Google Scholar have been updated, people still cite the dead names in the citations. And what our research shows that the instances of dead names usually goes down once Google Scholar updates it. So once it's updated on Google Scholar, people try to cite less their dead names. So where is this 20% is coming from? Maybe from Google Scholar, or maybe they are using the outdated bibliographies, they're not updating their bib files, or Mendeley or Endo, and not updating that. We try to raise as much awareness and petitions as much as possible. So these are the one petition that we did, I think 4 years ago. And this was a news article in Wired talking about highlighting this issue. So as conclusion, our research is showing that the Google Scholar provides citations that are outdated and contains the author's dead name, even when the paper has been updated. So the paper has been updated, but Google Scholar has not been updated. So that Google Scholar contains the dead name, and people are using Google Scholar to cite the dead name there. Not just the dead name is there. Many times Google Scholar, let's say, what's your full name? Yeah. Yeah, Vikram Kanadu. So my name is Pranav A. Vikram Kanadu. So what will happen is Google Scholar will do Pranav Kanadu. So it's somehow like merge people's name together. It doesn't have the understanding of what's the different author's name. So we both have done a paper together, but the citations are going to some person called Pranav Kanadu. So it merges the last name, the incorrect last names are there. It drops people from the author list there. Sometimes it does the weird stuff like the wrong author order. Let's say the first author is the last author is the first author, and this kind of stuff that happens in Google Scholar. So one of my recommendations here is maybe not to use Google Scholar, maybe try to use Semantic Scholar out there. So after this talk, I want all of you to go through your Semantic Scholar and try to see how many citations that you have on Semantic Scholar. So you will see a difference in citations because Google Scholar might miscalculate, and it's likely that Semantic Scholar is better or it's not perfect. But what you can do on Semantic Scholar is you can control your own name there, and you have more control out there. But they have some aliases there, they use a database of that name, so it's kind of like weird. It's not accurate enough. But Semantic Scholar is slightly more a better alternative to Google Scholar. Yeah, so my idea here is that, so whenever you submit a paper, let's say you have a submission system out there, can a submission system check what are the names that, have you cited any dead names or like any wrong names in your paper? And can that submission system warn the authors, okay, your names are wrong here, please correct that. So I made a toolkit for publishers, it's called RefCheck. So it looks like this. So the authors here, they will submit their PDFs to a conference or onto a journal. My toolkit will try to like parse. So it will like try to see what are the references that are happening in the paper. And based on a reference happening, I will try to match the reference with the updated database. And if there's any mismatch between the current names and the updated names, we will notify the authors out there. So this is my toolkit for RefCheck. And this is how the outputs look like. So you have few warnings out there as the output. And it shows that, okay, this warning, let's say you have like incorrect author names here, and you can use this URL to fix that author for your paper. So this toolkit has actually been employed in like NLP conferences called ACL. So we made a like publication toolkit out there. Okay, I want to see here like what is the dead naming or what's the wrong names are there with conferences that have some good policies and conferences which don't have any policies out there. So I found that all the NLP conferences and NUIPs, they have name change policies. But ICLEAR, ICML, Triple AI, these are like major AI conferences. They don't have any name change policies. So I want to see them, how much that name, how much chaos is happening here between these two groups. I forgot to put my results up here. Why did I forget that? But what I found out here is that with policies, we found that they were like around 2% of that naming out there. But without policies, they were like around 4% of that naming out there. If maybe after the talk, I will try to like show my paper, like what are the results out there. But we found out that without policies, there was like more dead naming, more wrong names, more wrong citations that happens. So you can see the policies are important. Implementing policies are important, otherwise people don't know, people will like do some mistakes out there. How a good name change policy should be. A good name change policy should be accessible. It should be like visible on your website. It should be like accessible to everyone. It should be like comprehensive. It should say that okay, what might happen with this algorithm, and it should be invisible. Let's say it should not show your previous name or dead names. It should be fast, and it should be always be maintained. It's not that okay, let's maintain this for 1 year and for the rest of the year just nothing happens. So that happens in a lot of conferences. And in many conferences these days, what happens is whenever you request a new name change, they do it quickly. In ACL, in US, I'm not sure about the other conferences. And a good policy should be synchronized with the all artifacts. Let's say your metadata, your PDF, your homepage, it should be all updated with your name change. And if somebody is cited with your wrong name, there should be like constant monitoring of like, okay, this is the wrong name that has been happening here, so let's correct that. And also have something like such kind of like name check kind of situation or like toolkit in many publication workflows. We try to do that for ACL right now, and publishers can use this toolkit to understand if anyone is like doing any wrong names in the citations. And finally, engage with the community. So we have an ACL name change policy, so that would not be possible without amazing people out there. So they really like talked about this policy. They discussed like, okay, what is lacking, what can be improved. So this was all possible because of D&I initiatives in ACL, because of Queer in AI, because of many initiatives out there. People say these days, okay, diversity is like nonsense and stuff like that. But due to diversity, the technology is improving, and I'm giving you an actual case of that. And always engage, support the advocacy groups, and whoever is like affected with this kind of like policies, engage with them and see how they can be more inclusive and build more inclusive scholar communities. So what I want to say here is that I hope that all of these efforts will help queer scholars and many other scholars out there. So in advancing their research, I don't want them to spend so many hours in just frustrations just to update their names. So this is what our hope is for this research. So like this is like the basic human dignities, like be properly named. So I hope that this kind of research or this kind of policies would help people out there. Okay, so in this talk you learned about where are we lacking in EU AI Act in Germany, and where are we lacking in publishing policies in academia. So you can ask me any questions or any thoughts that you have for this, these things. These are my socials. Yeah, thank you.